My name is Erin Mitchell, and this is my Mastery Journal timeline. Overarching goal is start my own graphic design and consulting firm specifically for the church. The church as a whole has an image problem both globally and locally. My job as a designer would be to create images that connect the church and social media, but also be able to explain back to the church why it needs me and why it is so important to have the right media presence. My short-term goal upon graduation would be to create a baseline of templates that can be used anytime or anywhere and are themed. So that means that having email blast schedules, the actual design of the email itself, schedule social media posts, and special graphics, for different events that we have or that we want to do, and things of that nature. Every church needs basic images for Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Those type of images are always going to be needed, and they can change or they can either stay the same depending on what the church decides they want their goals to look like, and also to kind of necessarily like grow where I'm rooted at. Currently, I serve as the graphic designer, and I'm on staff at my local church. So it's been really cool to be getting my master's in media design and working in the industry that I'm trying to build inside of the church. So it's been really cool experience to be able to do that. Some of the steps I want to take is create theme style templates. In order to be successful in church environments, you always have to be prepared, which means you always have to have your tools prepared. In the church environment, to get a job you want, you already have to have the job done. It would be much easier to justify in giving me a job and then paying me for it when the tools and everything that needs to be set up is already there. To kind of stay human centric and connect humans to the social media ring so that it doesn't get too overwhelming and you don't get a church that's looks like they're primarily all on online. Um, a lot of pay as you go on demand websites for churches have been popping up everywhere. I've been seeing them left and right. They've been sending me emails to buy their things when I'm saying I'm a designer. I can do what you're selling. um, so while these things are easy to get with the tap of a credit card and your design problem is solved, I would argue that yes, you can do it, but so can other churches. And sooner rather than later, all of these churches will look and feel the same. And it'd be obvious that those churches chose the quick and simple route versus time and custom that really reaches out and gives that personal touch towards your social media strategy. The more authentic you are, the better. And being someone with feet in all three of those worlds, in the design world, in the church world, with a theology background, and in design, I kind of have a unique position to be able to say, here, all of us can work together if we can figure out how to do it together. And primarily, that'll be my job to make sure that everyone connects and stays together. But I still, at the same time, too, want everyone in the situation to believe that this can actually work. And like for my integrated foresight, I just want to create a social media strategy. Creating a social media strategy keeps me and the church ahead of the game. Knowing what images you're going to post and when you're going to post them is vital to having a strong presence online and a strong design presence. So that means that not talking about your Christmas packaging a month before Christmas, because that's just not how it works. You break up time and everything gets crazy, and around the Christmas is the church's Super Bowl. So you don't necessarily want to be preparing for it a month before that. It's crazy. So having those things prepared and having someone like me come in and prepare those things is a vital key in a church's social media presence and being successful in that. My next couple steps would be to create a new and innovative ways of doing things. What the church loves so much, and I've found in every single church that I've interacted with, is they love saving money. With my job being dedicated to the idea that I have enough time to find ways that will constantly improve things and set us apart from all the rest. For example, this past year, I've been digging deep into 3D printing and laser engraving. My room literally looks like a workshop. But I've had the opportunity to design our church logo, and with it be able to laser engrave on wood block keychains, and giving the church another bonus into how they can connect with other people. And it saves them time and it saves them money because one, it's in-house. They're not paying someone else to do it, and we don't have to wait for shipping. So it's been really cool to be able to give that back to them as a church and to say, hey, like, I'm a multiple tool kind of issue right here. So let's figure out how we can be innovative and trying to figure out how we can save money and keep things together. Um, I'm currently working on trying to 3D print our logo as well. So having those dynamic constructive processes not only saves money, but is another way that the church can be creative um, inside the community. Another thing I want to do is I want to promote empathy and start a podcast where you get to know your community as a whole as a part of the strategy. Some of the key things that people talk about when they go to church is that they feel like they're just a number, another butt in a seat that doesn't really have an impact. And I want to be able to show people, say, hey, like, you do have an impact. You are here. This is what we're here for. We love you and we see you. So in the church, like our human interaction, and being personable, being making social media a part of that world, can better help us, come together and see each other. So while my job in my life is lived mostly online, it's important to drive home the idea behind those screens are humans that we need to connect with, and be able to see and feel and be able to reach out to. And lastly, create meaning. All this, we can do all of this. All of this can be a fun engagement. But if it doesn't have a strong meaning, it just kind of falls on deaf ears. Um, with all these ideas and steps, I think creating meaning by connecting people is so important. Because without connection, you have the best strategies and the most beautiful design, but if people aren't connecting with it, it's useless. Um, which leads me to believe that having meaning and be able to stay connected is super important, part of this process and how the church can better improve its imagery online and physically with other people. And how can I use my professional learning network? Basically, get involved with the LGBTQ plus club here at Full Sail. I know I can't be the only one who is in the church and trying to find these goals and how to use their gifts to connect social media or the world itself, with the church and try to bridge them together so that we can create a better community with each other, connect with other churches in my area. Some of the key things that, at least with me growing up, all the churches kind of felt kind of segregated from each other. They didn't want to do what other churches were doing and they didn't want to talk to each other. But because of this grand scheme of social media and togetherness, it's kind of hard not to do that. So I at least want to be able to connect with other churches and see what they're doing and try to get a feel and understanding of how I can better do my job, even partnering with them, talking and connecting with other faith lead designers. I know I can't be the only one. I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the only voice. So I know it's super important to be able to connect with those people, and be able to talk about all our strategies and all our headaches and all the craziness that is working in the church. These are a few of my references that I use. I hope you guys enjoyed my timeline, and let me know what you think. Thank you and have a great day.